Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show we've got a review for Nemesis, located at Alton Towers in the UK. So before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. And yeah, just that's all I need to say. Right, let's get back into the video. So this is, in my personal opinion, still the best roller coaster in the UK, despite the fact it opened in 1994. It's obviously a B&M invert. It has a ridiculously cool and clever theme towards effectively unearthing like a giant monster, which not only works really nicely for the park and the ride, it has a great name for it as well, but it also gets around to loads of restrictions and problems that Alton Towers faces from local residents and the councils and stuff like that. Which I also really love. I just love the fact it was like, well, we can't really build this, on normal ground, but if we dig a huge pit and place it in it, then it's absolutely fine. I just absolutely love that imagination and creativity which came to designing this ride. I also think the ride looks really menacing, has a great storyline. I think the name is absolutely perfect. I think the colour scheme works really, really well. I think they also picked the right type of ride for this to be the B&M invert, where it's like something which has high intensity, really good fun, whippy inversions. Perfect. Right, so does it have any issues? Yeah, it doesn't really have anything approaching a first drop, really. It has a tiny dip into it. I also actually think this ride is kind of a bit short, if I'm being really honest, for such a well-acclaimed and highly regarded ride. It probably should be a little bit longer. Obviously, I do appreciate they can't, have it go too long, because obviously it will run out of momentum. I'm just a little bit surprised they never, like, for example, changed like one of the turns or something like that to make it go upside down. Especially there's one, towards the end of the ride where effectively just after the loop, I'm always really surprised they've never like maybe lowered that and like kind of turned it so it actually inverts there. I think that would actually massively improve that little bit of the ride and look a little bit cooler as well, and just generally be a little bit of an improvement they could make. The ride has really good dispatches, it has really good operations. Obviously it's a ride that I've really enjoyed and I've ridden. It's really good at the front row, it's really good at the back row. It's just a hell of a lot of fun. It's really intense at points as well. I also absolutely love the fact it goes through multiple tunnels and just generally has a really good speed and momentum to it despite the lack of drop. I'm also a huge fan of all the inversions they picked. I mean, we ignore the fact they're all kind of similar other than the loop, but they're all really well placed for the most part and actually stand up. Like the first one, like high above the rest of the ride, and gives it a nice little burst of pace. I'm actually a huge fan of the turnaround after that, which is proper high intensity and a great grey out, blackout moment as you dive towards the ground. And then up over the station is a great touch. The loop, lovely little placement of that as well. Looks really good off-ride. Overall, it's just a ride that I just literally you can just talk positive about for so long. I do find it a little bit weird that they've been starting to use like the overflow queue line where you've just gone up towards where the first drop is, because for years you never used to go up that way. It used to always have like a pretty short queue for Nemesis, for like half an hour, and used to just effectively be queuing by the entrance. I do love the queue line as it happens. I think it actually really interacts nicely with the ride. I will say, obviously, it's a real shame that, for example, things like the River of Blood that it used to have is no longer being used because of the effective environmental damage that they have done, which is absolutely fair enough. And as I said, I do find this ride a tiny bit short. I will say, though, if you ever do it, I don't know if they still do it, but I do remember one of the greatest times I've ridden it is going to the Alton Towers Hotel, and then they have effectively like the Nemesis experience you could do at the time, where they effectively have someone pretending to be one of the engineers or stuff like that working on the project, and they take you down and add a bit of backstory and stuff like that. And I'll put it this way, I managed to go on Nemesis 7 times before the park opened to the public that day, which was absolutely fantastic. Well recommend doing that. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If I had to give it a final score, by the way, it'd probably be like something like an 83, maybe 84 out of 100, or 8.4 out of 10, depending on which way round I do my review system or scoring system. They're pretty similar in fairness. Yeah, well worth going on. Definitely, kind of almost definitely deserving of its praise and status in the coaster world. But yeah, overall, really good ride. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video.